Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Erin and in today's video we're going to be building the infamous Friends apartments. So I actually did both apartments, both Joey and Chandler and Monica and Rachel's apartments. And I built it up on the Fountain View penthouse area in the Arts District in San Myshuno. And I did that because I really wanted to replicate this as close to the actual apartments that you see on Friends. I actually, when I was getting ready to do this project, I was looking on YouTube at other Sims creators that have actually done the Friends apartments. And one of the biggest videos was the one that Simlissy did, which I love Simlissy. I'm a subscriber of hers. I love her builds. And I was watching her video and she actually did the apartments. I think she did Joey and Chandler's apartment and Monica and Rachel's apartment in the Culpeper area. I don't even know if that's right. I just remember hearing Culpeper. I don't know. But I really wanted to create almost like a little self-contained apartment area on the top of the Fountain View, penthouse area. And I really wanted to work on blending this apartment as best as I could with the rest of the apartment complex that you see down below. So I know this apartment might look like maybe a little bit more old and stuff compared to the apartment below, which is, I don't know, I'd say it's a little bit more modern, but the apartment on Friends, Joey and Chandler and Monica and Rachel's apartment, they're supposed to be right across the hall from each other. I couldn't accomplish that here on this area, on this lot, so to speak. I thought I could initially, and then I started doing the layout and I was like, oh no, this is not going to work. It's going to have to go on two different stories, which, it's kind of sucks because you miss that kind of magic of them being across the hall, which was such an integral part of the show, but I think it's okay. It's not really the hugest deal. But here I am working on probably what I consider the most iconic part of this apartment, and it's the kitchen in Rachel and Monica's apartment. And I did kind of struggle with this, especially as you see me right now doing that little corner portion where the sink sits. As you can see, part of the counter is jutting into the sink. So I was thinking, well, I guess I could just cover it up with clutter, which that's exactly what I did. And it turned out perfect. You can barely tell that there's a piece of counter jutting through the sink, which in all honesty should make the sink, not usable, but it's The Sims and it's fine. It completely functions. I did completely playtest this entire lot before I put it up on the gallery, which as I'm recording this voiceover, it is up on the gallery. It currently has 7 downloads. And which doesn't surprise me because my goodness, the thumbnail that The Sims automatically takes of your lots is so frustrating sometimes. I wish you could select your own thumbnail. Am I the only one who feels that way? The thumbnails just really do some builds really dirty. And this thumbnail is obviously just the exterior of this apartment, which I think is cool, but the inside is where it's at. The inside is whoa, that is definitely the Friends apartment. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think I nailed the inside of these apartments pretty good. I mean, we're just starting at the beginning. You're gonna see as we get more into it. But I was doing extensive research while doing this. And by extensive research, I mean I had an image of it up on my phone. As I was building this. You might notice throughout the build that there's some awkward pauses. I tried to edit a lot of them out, but some of them might have snuck in there. But I'm just pausing and I'm looking, and I have so many images saved on my phone, and I really got into this. So I've done a couple of these recreations on my channel so far. I've done Full House and I've done Brady Bunch, and now I'm doing Friends. And with Full House and Brady Bunch, I got the exterior pretty darn close to the real one that you see on the show. But the inside, I kind of took a little bit more creative liberty, and I kind of made it a little bit more updated, both in the Full House home and also in the Brady Bunch house. It still captures the essence, in my opinion, but it is sort of a little bit more modernized. But with Friends, I did not want to do that. I really wanted to make this as close as humanly possible to the real Friends house. So I really was researching like crazy. and I think it came out awesome. I had so much fun doing this. I had my mom sitting there like watching me do this, and you know, I grew up with Friends. Friends was a huge show when I was younger. You know, I'm a millennial kid. I was born in '89, so I grew up with Friends. It was probably like one of the biggest sitcoms on TV, like along with like Frasier and, you know, Seinfeld and stuff like that. Which, speaking of which, I kind of want to redo the Seinfeld apartments and also Frasier. Frasier is personally my favorite sitcom of all time. But getting back to talking a little bit more about this actual build. So on the main level, I have Monica and Rachel's apartment, and the layout is really, really close to how it is on the TV show. And the only thing that's different is there's at the end of the hallway, which I'll pop up a picture of it right here, but at the end of the hallway, there's a door. So you see the bathroom off to the left-hand side, and then you see straight ahead there's a door. And in the show, that's a closet. And it's funny because Chandler like discovers it later in the series, and it's like a place where Monica, who's like super neat, keeps like all of this junk, and it's just so like opposite of her personality to just have all this junk shoved in the closet. But instead of making that a closet, I actually made it Phoebe's room, and I don't show it in this video. I do show it in the reveal photos at the end. I show Phoebe's room, or at least I hope I did. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. You'll see it when you download the house. But I obviously, you'll see in the beginning sequence, I did like a little intro where I show all the Sims that I downloaded, and I wanted to have Phoebe and I wanted to have Ross, but you know, I didn't really have rooms for them, you know, with it being Rachel and Monica's apartment and then Joey and Chandler's apartment. So I kind of created like these secret rooms for them. So Phoebe has a really tiny room in that closet there at the end of the hall, and you know, I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of indicative, honestly, of like a New York apartment because New York, man, I mean, real estate is, it's tiny. It's a tiny place to live unless you got a lot of money. It's a tiny place. But yeah, I really struggled with the layout of these apartments, both of them. And when you see me building out the shell at the beginning of this video, it was actually my second time doing it. Because the first time I was just, oh my God, I was like crunching numbers. I was just, it was a lot. It was more complicated than it needed to be because, you know, it's The Sims. It's, you know, it's not that deep. I say that a lot. It's The Sims, it's not that deep. But, you know, when you're putting something online for people to watch and enjoy, you definitely want it to be nice. So I really put a lot of effort into this layout, and I tried to put a lot of effort into making this feel as close to the show as possible. Again, I wanted it to feel really close, and not because like I'm a diehard Friends fan. I'm really actually not the hugest Friends fan, ironically. It is a very nostalgic show for me though, because I grew up with it. It was a huge show. I remember it being on in the living room. You know, my mom would watch it. And like I said, my mom was watching me build this, and she was, you know, kind of telling me like, no, you should do this. No, you should do that. She actually made me change the paint colors. So you see it's like kind of a lighter purple right now on the wall. And then you see this hallway area. It's not even green. It's like kind of like a bluish green color. And she's like, no, we gotta change that. That's not right. And she was right, you know, mom's always right. And I did change it, and it looks way better. It looks way more accurate. But, you know, like I said, Friends is not my favorite 90s sitcom. It is a good one though. There's really good moments on the show. I actually, kind of controversial opinion, I don't really think Friends is that funny. I'm sorry I said it. I don't really think it's that funny. I think there's other 90s sitcoms like Frasier that I think are personally funnier and a little bit more witty. Friends is just kind of like a little bit of like a cheesy kind of humor to it. Granted, it does have some really funny moments on the show, and I was actually like rewatching the show, you know, while I was doing this, because that's just my process. I like to watch it and kind of get immersed in it before I start building it. And yeah, it was very entertaining. And I love Rachel. She's definitely my favorite character on the show. I love so many of them, but Rachel's definitely my favorite. And I love her whole like dynamic with Ross. There's that moment on the show that's super iconic that I always remember, even from being a little kid, where they're about to go to prom, Monica and Rachel, when they're, teenagers. And I think like Rachel's date is like late or ditches her, I can't remember. And Ross is like getting ready to kind of like surprise her and take her to the prom instead, since her date ditched her. And it's just, there's that super sad moment where he's like standing at the top of the stairs and Rachel's like walking off with her prom date. Oh my gosh, that moment, you like, I don't know, for me, like I can still remember first watching that as a kid and feeling so bad for Ross. But then there's that great moment where Rachel just walks up and gives him like that really just like grand kiss. And it's just such an amazing moment in like television history. It's such a great moment. But yeah, like I was saying, I definitely want to do some other like 90s sitcom apartments or houses, whatever. I really want to do Frasier. I'm a huge Frasier fan. I think that's such a funny show. Probably one of the funniest like early 90s sitcom shows in my opinion. Of course, there's also Seinfeld, but I also have an unpopular opinion on that. I don't think Seinfeld is that funny. I used to think it was funny when I was a kid, but since I've gotten older and I've actually watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is by, Larry David, who originally did, Seinfeld, I think that's so much funnier. And I know it's like probably not fair to compare the two, but I do in my head, and I'm like, no, I think Curb's funnier. Seinfeld's just not as funny. Although that, again, is a show, though, that has its moments that are just, like, hilarious. I love Seinfeld, too. Don't get me wrong, Seinfeld's a great show, but I think Curb is better. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm trying to think about some other 90s sitcoms that I want to do. But not just 90s, maybe 80s, early 2000s, all the different ones. When I did my Full House home, and also when I did Brady Bunch, I got some comments of people saying, you should do King of Queens. And I was like, oh my goodness, I love King of Queens. That's a underrated sitcom in my opinion. That is so funny. I love King of Queens. Somebody was also saying I should do Seventh Heaven, which I've never watched Seventh Heaven, but I did look up the house when I got that comment, and I love that house that's on the show. It's like kind of a American Foursquare house, and I love that style of house, so I actually would like to do that at some point. But yeah, I'd like to know from you guys, like, what's your favorite, kind of like cheesy sitcom from like the early 90s and the 2000s or 80s or whatever. And, what are some of your guys' ideas for some sitcoms or shows or movies that I can recreate? Because I think this is a super fun series on my channel. I've only done 3 builds so far, but I definitely want to do more. And it's just so fun. And I've seen other Sims creators kind of do this here and there, but I don't know. I want to take it to the next level, and I want to really just like dedicate a lot of time to it. I already know, like, coming up around like Halloween, I definitely want to do like the Addams Family. I might even do the Amityville house. I don't know. I might. And then around Christmas, I definitely want to do the Home Alone house. I might even do the house from A Christmas Story. So those are just some of my ideas like in the future. But for like sitcoms, I was just thinking this morning before I started this voiceover, I would love to do the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That would be a really cool one. I was also thinking about doing Everybody Loves Raymond. That's another really good one. But yeah, please comment. Let me know if you guys have any ideas, any feedback on other homes that I should do. But jumping back in and talking about my build. So I finished out that kitchen. Like I said previously, I think the kitchen is probably like one of the best rooms that I recreated, but the living room's fantastic too. All the rooms I think came out great. I had a hard time deciding like which I liked better. This downstairs apartment for Monica and Rachel and Phoebe, or did I like the upstairs apartment that I did for Joey and Chandler? I don't know. It's a hard decision. They came out both so good and so close to the actual, you know, living room on the show. It's crazy. But now here I am doing Monica's room. So the rooms for Monica and Rachel, Monica's was a little bit easier. There's like more like reference photos for that one that I could find online. I'll pop up a picture of it here on the screen that you can kind of see what I was referencing. But her room, you know, it's pretty simple, very 90s. I mean, obviously this whole apartment is, you know, super 90s style, and, you know, I hate 90s style if I'm being honest. But it was fun for me to do it. I don't know. I got really into it. I've been getting more into doing like more dated kind of styles. I don't know what that's about, but I've just been getting into it. I can't tell you what the reason is, but maybe it's just the nostalgia of it. I don't know. But I love that we're getting more of those like dated items too. I was finally able to use some of the items from the Basement Treasures kit. I didn't use a ton of them, but I did sprinkle them here and there. You'll see I used the plant from the Basement Treasures kit, which that plant, I'm so happy we got that plant. It's such a dumb thing to say, but that plant, I remember it so clearly from The Sims 1, and having it back in the game is just so cool. If they could bring back like the dance cage too, and like that little like chemistry set where you would make potions from The Sims 1, that would make my day. I would love that. The other thing I really want from The Sims 1 is I want your plants to like actually die. I remember I was watching Call Me Kevin, and he, you know, had his house, but I saw off to the side like flowers were dying, and he was having his sim water flowers, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot that aspect from Sims 1. I can't remember even if it was in Sims 2, but I remember it from the first game that you had to like take care of your flowers or they would die, where now in the Sims 4, I mean, they're just like, they're permanently like always in nice shape, which is, you know, obviously very unrealistic, which I'm not saying like I want The Sims to be completely realistic all the time, but just having a little bit of realism here and there I think is really fun and just helps you get a little bit more immersed into the game. So I'd like that. I would like for them to bring back like, you know, plants that actually die outside, you know. I know like when you garden, those plants can die, but, you know, landscaping plants, that'd be cool if they died, and then you could actually have a purpose for having a gardener. And now here I am working on Rachel's room. So Rachel's room was more of a challenge than Monica's room because there were not a lot of reference photos for it. And, you know, like I said, I did, you know, rewatch some of the show, but I honestly don't really have a ton of time to like sit and like closely watch the show like throughout its many different seasons. So I did rely a lot on Google for some of these reference photos, and man, there were not a lot of reference photos for Rachel's room. So I don't know. I tried to capture the essence as best as I could. I'll again pop up a picture of, you know, the photo I was referencing here for Rachel's room, but I saw she like had like tons of pillows and stuff like on her bed, which, God, that's so 90s looking too, to have like all those pillows. I remember like my house growing up, my mom, the way she decorated it, I remember she had like so many throw pillows. I think that's like kind of a joke. Was like back in like the 90s and early 2000s, like your bed and couch would just be covered in like an abundance of pillows. Those like pillows that you would get from like Pier 1. Ugh. Awful. The one thing I do though like about 90s kind of interior style was I do like that little like shabby chic thing that they had going on in the 90s. And Monica's apartment totally had that like shabby chic thing going on. And so that's why I really had a really fun time doing this one here, was because it just had that total shabby chic thing going on. And it reminded me a lot of like my houses growing up, because, you know, I said this in previous videos, but my mom is really good at like decorating. She always has been, and she still is. And I remember just growing up, you know, she would always make our houses look so nice. Our houses, our apartments, whatever. She would always decorate it so cute. And I remember things always felt very cozy and stuff like that. So I kind of decorated this apartment in a way like how I kind of remember my mom decorating my house growing up, you know. And it kind of had this vibe going on. Although I remember she had a lot of like astrological stuff. My mom was like super into astrology growing up. And I remember we had like tons of like blankets with like all the different like astrological signs and like, you know, big suns and stuff like that. I think that was maybe really popular in the 90s too, that kind of like astrology theme going on. Yeah, I remember that. Too bad we don't have more of that in The Sims. Otherwise, I definitely would have sprinkled it into this build. And here I am now doing the bathroom for them. So this is, I believe, the last room that I do here in this apartment, or the last room that I show, although I could be wrong. I always get this wrong. Every video I'm like, this is the last room, and then I'm like, oh no, I still got another one, never mind. Disregard what I just said. But this bathroom came out really good too. I loved this bathroom too growing up. I remember I used to watch it on the show. I'm a big bathroom person. I said this also in my last video where I was talking about how much I love baths and stuff. I got really like TMI and I was talking about my obsession with taking baths and stuff. And then when I was doing this, I was thinking about the episode where Chandler like really gets into taking baths, and I don't know, I was like, oh my god, I'm like Chandler. I love taking baths. I think it's weird when people don't like take baths. Like, I don't know, I guess like for sanitary reasons I can kind of understand, but I just take a shower before, you know, if I'm like really filthy, I'll just take a shower before I take a bath. But man, baths are the best. They're so relaxing, and I don't understand. They don't deserve the hate that they get, I swear. But yeah, I love the way that this bathroom came out. It's again really close to, you know, the one that's on the show, and yeah, it's fantastic. The only thing about the bath situation in this house is there's not enough of them. Like, straight up, there's not enough. And when I started playing with the Sims that I put in this house, I was like, whoa, there's not enough bathrooms. They were like constantly like going around doing that little like pee dance that the Sims do, because they just constantly had to pee. And there's like a coffee pot in the house, and so they're constantly drinking coffee and they constantly have to pee. It's just a recipe for disaster. So I don't know. If you want to add an extra bathroom, by all means, go ahead. If you want to, you know, change Phoebe's room to a bathroom, I don't know. Do whatever you wish with the build. You know, I'm not going to be offended by that at all. I made it the way I made it because I want to have all the Sims, you know, or all the characters from Friends as Sims in this house. And speaking of that, I actually didn't make the Sims. So for Full House and also for Brady Bunch, I actually made those Sims, those characters in cast to, you know, upload for you guys. This one I didn't, and the reason why I didn't is because I, quite frankly, found ones on the gallery that were way better than I could have ever made it. So I just downloaded them. And I'll leave links in the description down below of, you know, where I downloaded them, you know, the creators and stuff like that. And the only one that I kind of did, though, alter was the one for Rachel. I had a really hard time finding a good Rachel / Jennifer Aniston. And I think it's because Jennifer Aniston, she's so gorgeous. I mean, I love her. She's just timelessly beautiful, so naturally beautiful, but she has kind of like stronger facial features. And I think it's really hard to capture her likeness, especially as a sim. But I did find one creator, and again, I'll list them down below, but that creator that I listed, I did alter their Jennifer Aniston a little bit. I made her younger, and I changed her hair, obviously, and I also kind of softened up her mouth a little bit. I don't know. I changed her makeup too, and obviously her outfit and stuff like that. I wanted the Rachel that I put in my game, I wanted her to kind of look like an early Rachel, like earlier in the series where she has darker hair and shorter hair. You know, later on in the show, she gets that like super iconic, kind of like longer, darker blonde highlighted hair, which is personally my favorite look that Rachel ever had on the show. But the one that I put here in my game, I wanted it to look like the iconic, you know, what they call the Rachel hair, which back in the 90s was like sweeping the nation. Everybody was getting the Rachel hair. Like people look back at like their high school, you know, yearbook and they're like, oh God, I had that Rachel hair. It was just kind of like a cultural phenomenon here in America. And who knows, maybe in other parts of the world. I'll have to see, like, if anybody's watching this from a different country, like, are you familiar with Friends? Like, is that a popular show where you are? Like, I'm curious. I don't know if Friends is, like, popular outside of, you know, North America. I'm not sure. But it's a huge show here. I mean, it's a cultural phenomenon, so... But anywho, here I am now. I'm doing the guy's apartment. I'm doing Joey and Chandler's apartment. And this one, when I was doing this, my mom was like, I don't know which one I like more, because they're both like scary accurate. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I think they are pretty scary accurate. This kitchen area like came out really, really close to how it looks on the show. I'm super duper happy with it. I got the little foosball table, which, you know, they had on the show. The thing, though, is, like, the sets changed so much as, you know, the show went on, because the show was on for years. I want to say it was on for, like, almost like a decade, or maybe even over a decade. I don't know. I don't have my facts completely on that one, but it was on for so long, and, yeah, this apartment came out fantastic. I love this little seating area. Those chairs from the basement collection were just like, they came in so clutch. They're perfect. And then the TV that I'm putting down here from Tiny Living somehow worked. It's a little modern for, you know, this kind of like 90s style, but I don't know. I still feel like it kind of works, and it kind of looks similar to what they had, you know, on the show in Joey and Chandler's apartment. And, you know, little dartboard, and they can use all this stuff. They can use the dartboard, the Sims they can use it, and they can also use the foosball table. And then you would have seen in Monica's apartment, but, you know, the other side of the apartment, you know, it's a set, obviously, but the side that you can't see where the cameras would face, I put a desk there with a computer, or a typewriter, which basically is a computer. And then I kind of did a similar thing here in Joey and Chandler's apartment. I took that set wall, as I call it, and I put a computer there. And on the show, Chandler is like some sort of like data analyst, so I put that computer there mainly for him. And I also am just, lately, I've been really liking to like limit the amount of computers that I put in houses for my Sims, because goodness gracious, if you have too many computers in a house for Sims, that's all they want to do. They only want to be on the computer all the time. It's so annoying. And you like invite people over, and I swear the Sims make like a beeline straight for the computer, and they just sit there, and it's just, my goodness, it's so annoying. That and like dancing, I've noticed, my goodness, Sims in The Sims 4, they love computers and they love dancing. And they also love bars. I mean, shoot. I mean, the Sims like to have a good time in this game. I'll give them that. But it's just too much. I've really been like almost thinking about like eliminating computers completely from my game because it gets so annoying. So now I'm moving on to Chandler's room here, and Chandler's room was another one kind of like Rachel's room, I should say, where there were not a lot of reference photos. Same with Joey, not a lot of reference photos for their bedrooms. So the bedrooms were, I don't know how like accurate I nailed the bedrooms, but I got the feel down as close as I could. And I was also able to use that wallpaper from the Basement Treasures kit too, which fantastic. I love that Basement Treasures kit. I really hope they do more kits like that, where they include more like kind of like realistic, kind of like old-fashioned like retro items. They're great. They add so much dimension to the game and to builds. They're brilliant. I know as I'm doing this recording, we just got that like Sims delivery, and they did that quote unquote like hot new update where they updated the Caliente family. And I'm gonna be honest, I really don't care. I don't care. I don't really have a strong opinion like against it or for it. I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. It's not gonna really impact the way I play the game. I mean, I think they look good. I'll say that the new update for the Caliente family, I think they look better than they did, but beyond that, I don't really have much of an opinion on them. I'm just like sitting here like, what's the next kit? What's coming down the line? I want to know, like, what do we got cooking over at The Sims? I really want something like the Basement Treasures kit. So, and I'm also like in the process right now because I just finally got a computer. That's actually like what I'm editing on right now. I'm editing on my new computer. It's up, it's working, it's functional, and it's super exciting. But yeah, I'm buying all the packs again because I bought them all on my PlayStation, not even realizing that if I ever plan to get a PC, I would have to buy them all again. I mean, it sucks. It's unfortunate, but I kind of wish like EA would maybe acknowledge that. And somebody in my comments was like, well, why don't you contact EA and see if they can, do that, like get it transferred over. And I'm like, I didn't even really consider that to be an option, because would EA even answer me back? I doubt it. I doubt I'm the first person that's done this, that's downloaded a bunch of packs on a PlayStation or console or whatever and then gets a PC. I think it's kind of a natural progression too for, a lot of players nowadays to start off on console and then move to a PC as they, kind of want to expand more and get like mods and custom content and stuff like that. Which, speaking of custom content, oh my goodness, oh my god. I'm like a kid in a candy shop right now. I've been on CurseForge like nonstop. That was like my first place to go was CurseForge, because it's just, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can just get tons of different stuff there, and you don't even have to like move it to a mods folder. It just like does it automatically for you, and it keeps it all organized. CurseForge is awesome. And that was also kind of like a new discovery for me. I was like, oh my goodness, you don't even have to like get like a zip expander. back in my day, you had to like get like a program to like uncompress your zip files, and then you had to move them into a folder, and yeah, it was a little bit more of a process, which I know you still have to kind of do that, you know, when you're not downloading them off of something like CurseForge, but it was just like, wow, technology, man, it's come a long way. God, I feel so old. I know I'm not old, but there are times where like technology kind of like makes these advancements, and like I'm like behind on it, and I'll like catch up and I'll be like, whoa, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, dang, I feel like an old geezer. I didn't know you could do this stuff. But yeah, I'm really exploring the whole like custom content world, the whole mod world. I got Better Build and Buy is the mod that I got. I also got Wonderful Whims, which looks cool. I haven't really played with it. I haven't done much gameplay with my Sims game so far that I have on my PC. But I have downloaded a lot of custom content. So a lot of stuff from Hey Harry, a lot of stuff from Felix Andre, a lot of stuff from House of Harlix, which is, you know, collaboration between Felix Andre and Hey Harry. And then I also have been downloading a ton of stuff from Pierre Sim. Oh my gosh, his content is amazing, like mind-blowing, so good. So I think my next build is gonna be a kind of like coastal inspired house, because Harry just came out with a new coastal collection, and I really want to do like a really nice coastal-ish kind of house using that new stuff. And the next one after that, though, is I really want to do something with Pierre Sim with his Domaine Duclos collection. That looks amazing, and it's so huge. There's so much content there. So that's probably going to come down the line too. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some custom content builds coming up here on my channel. And then I'm also going to be doing, you know, build still using, you know, Maxis content. I'm not going to go all CC or anything like that. So if you enjoy my content that, you know, doesn't have custom content, don't worry, I'm still going to be doing no CC stuff. But at the moment on my computer, you know, I don't have a lot of the packs. The ones that I've gotten so far is I've gotten Seasons, Cottage Living, High School Years, and Cats and Dogs. Those are the few that I've gotten. I actually got lucky, and I was able to like sign into my old EA account, because I actually downloaded The Sims 4, or I bought The Sims 4 back in like 2007. No, not 2007, 2017. Goodness gracious, Aaron. And I actually bought some packs when I had the game back then. I got Spa Day, Cats and Dogs, Dine Out, and Romantic Garden stuff, which I'm like, wow, that's really random. Why would I have gotten all that? But so when I signed in on my PC that I just got, I was able to, you know, get those packs back, because I guess they're like in my purchase history. And I was like, well, sweet, I don't have to buy those again. And then also there's that deal going on right now with Epic where you get Jungle Adventure, Luxury Party, and I think it's like one of the streetwear kits, so one of the cast kits. You get that for free, and you can like link it to your EA account. So right off the bat, I got like, you know, a good handful of kits and game packs and expansion packs. But I did purchase Seasons, I did purchase Dream Home Decorator, and then I also got, what else did I get? I can't remember. I got, because they have like a little bundle deal where you can get an expansion pack, a game pack, and I think like a stuff pack. I think it might have been paranormal stuff that I got, because I love the items that come in that pack. So I got that, and then the other day they announced a sale, so I went on and I got even more. And so I got Cottage Living, because I've really been missing Cottage Living, and I also got High School Years. And what else did I get? I think I got toddler stuff, because I really love those string lights, which you actually see right now as I'm decorating the outside of these apartments. I love those string lights. They're fantastic, and I kind of can't live without them, so I got that. But yeah, I'm trying to get everything on sale. I'm not trying to pay full price for anything. That's what I did on my PlayStation 2, though. I didn't buy everything full price. Like, no, I don't have that much money. You're not gonna catch me out here buying stuff full price, really. I mean, maybe if I have the extra money, I will, but for the most part, I always try to catch them on sale. And that's my best advice. If you really want to buy more packs, you know, just kind of prepare and wait for a sale, because they frequently run sales on the packs, and they run those bundle deals too, so. But anywho, getting back to what I'm doing here on the screen. Goodness gracious, Erin, stay on task. This is, I think, the final kind of area that I'm doing here, and this is like the exterior. So I did a lot of the exterior off camera. So off camera, I did Phoebe's bedroom. You don't see that in this video. I cut it out for, you know, time purposes. And then I don't show like the hallways that I did here. I did those off camera. And you do see them in the reveal photos. And then I did kind of like a communal laundry area, because I thought that was kind of, you know, indicative of a New York apartment where you have like an area where it's community laundry area. And then I'm doing this kind of like lounge out here, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do like the iconic shot from Friends, you know, from the intro sequence where they have the fountain with the couch and the little lamp in front there. So it might look kind of goofy to anybody who doesn't know what Friends is, but if you know, you know. And you know, that is a very iconic look from the show, you know. And it's just fun. They all sit out there, or I make them sit out there. They don't choose to sit out there. I make them sit out there, and they have a good time. They chit chat, you know, they do the whole thing. And now that I've done this, I'm actually thinking like, shoot, should I do Central Perk? You know, that could be cool. I definitely need like a good cafe in my game for my save file, and Central Perk is like the coolest cafe I think there is. Is there one better than Central Perk? I don't know. Let me know. But I love Central Perk. I've always like, you know, seen that on TV, and you know, it's always just kind of been like an iconic thing that you see on television. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just yammering on. I apologize. But yeah, I would love to do Central Perk. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you want to see that. I definitely would like to put it in San Myshuno. And yeah, I'm doing this exterior spot now, which is right outside of Monica and Rachel's apartment. That's the part where they would like sit out there and just kind of like have drinks and chill out. But I put an area where you can do some gardening, and you know, you can also sit and chill out. And I love doing the exterior of this place though. I did a lot of it off camera, like I said, but I put tons of like pipes and grates and string lights and, you know, lattices, and some of those kind of like worn industrial looking signs that came with the industrial loft kit. I did a lot of those all throughout, and you know, I used a lot of those windows from the Myshuno pack, which looks so cool. I love that pack. I don't have it right now on my PC and I'm missing it. I don't know. I think the next set that I'm gonna purchase is City Living, Myshuno Stuff Pack, and I don't know what game pack I really want to get though, because a lot of the game packs are those like occult packs, like the vampires and the werewolves and stuff like that, and the Realm of Magic, which that's not really my jam. I'm not really like a big occult player. Like when I play the game, I generally like to do like family gameplay, and then I kind of like to do, you know, stuff kind of like this with like friends, where I play with like a bunch of like young single adults. But yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the game packs. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling on. We're now finally at the end of this video. If you guys stayed and watched through the whole thing, I really, really, really appreciate it. And if you guys could just drop a comment, let me know about like what kind of sitcoms you want to see me redo, or really anything you want to see me redo. I'd love to kind of see your guys' ideas. I can't make any, you know, concrete promises that I'll do it, but I'd love to like bounce back and forth some ideas and stuff like that. And let me know what you think about the recreation. Like, do you think I got really close? I personally think I did, but I'd love to know what you guys think. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye now.